So this is the update on the operation of Oliver. Hello everyone, and welcome to the operation of Oliver, part 12. Let's take a look. Of course, Oliver isn't painted yet. We were trying to fit everything before we start the painting procedure. And so what takes a lot of time that I'm working on is, I don't know if you can see it really clear in this, I'm actually building up Oliver's hands, giving a real fine detail. I started sanding the inside of him, getting the arms more perfected, and like I said, put the details, lines and such in the hand, and it takes a long time to add the little detail, probably longer than it does to make the actual character. So that's what's going on with him. I'm working with the arms, getting the little slot open so I can be able to put the screw. You can see this side's not done, this one's getting a little bit closer. I have to cut that, make that perfected. Also the arms, you can see they're getting more shapes, some sanding, get rid of all the little pits and things, get him where I want it to be. As you can see, the torso is still here, waiting to go to the next level. We left off, we're working on the legs. The legs are coming along. I've put fiberglass resin on that little part there, and this is all fiberglass on both legs. This is the next part that I'm working on. This is the part that's going to go to the lower part of the leg. I showed this in the last video. Now you can see I'm building it up with epoxy on both sides to get this really strong, because this is going to be the actual joint that holds the upper leg to the lower part of the leg. This is the lower part of the leg. Now putting on the lower leg part. This is a bolt with screws in it. This is the part that I'm putting on. You can see there's the bolt with screws on the other side. So there's two screws on the side and one screw on the side, and here's where the bolt comes in. I've made a little notch so that I can take this bolt out and put it back in. That's why the notch is there. The screw has fiberglass on it right now. We're letting it dry, as well as this screw and this screw. I'm going to drill. So now that I have these nuts fiberglass, I am taking the bolt out. I'm going to slide this out, and what I need to do is mark F for the front here, so that I know this is the front part of the leg. So now it will basically look like this. The fiberglass is holding those three nuts in the plate. Now what I'm going to do is drill a 1/16 of an inch hole on both sides of the 1 inch copper wire that's being inserted now. And hit. Not working with me. There we go. And I'll take the back and twist it, and I will get a pair of needle nose and make that tighter so it looks like these other two right here, and then bend it forward, and then I'll put fiberglass on it. Okay, now here are the two put together. Teriyaki sticks were ran to the base here and out to the screw on each one on both sides, and then an epoxy was filled in to give it added strength and make it stronger. Now that I have this back together and that's assembled, I can now start putting on the paper from here to here and build up the section of the upper leg, just this side. Take a 1/4 inch piece of paper and put it around here and around here, the leg movement. Once I've done that, I'm going to cut this shape out for the leg, and I'm going to set it right about here. Now that I have my shape, I'm going to go ahead and trace this to make the second one for the other leg. Once I have those pieces cut out, I'm then going to take the piece and tape it on, and then I'm going to make sure that I have clearance to be able to build it up with fiberglass when the leg moves. And then I'm going to turn around the back side, because I already have this part built out. I'm going to draw lines where that I can cut a slit, except for the flat part, so that that piece can be glued on to here. I'm going to do that on both of them. And once I put that line on the back, I'm going to trace where this is so that it lines up exactly. And as you can see, I put my line on the back where to make my cuts, and I'll cut it down to about right here so that I can put this, center it on this piece. Okay, so here are the two legs together. And you can see the paper. We're going to work with the upper part of the leg, filling in that section before we get to the lower part. Now that I've cut this out, and I have a little bit of space right here, I also kept the shape right along here, so I drew it out on both sides so that I would not lose that. And I'm going to put a 1/4 of an inch piece of paper here to keep this shape. Well, as usual, fiberglass resin was added, but I changed out the bolts to make them Phillips screws, so that way it would be easier to tighten the screw from one side of the leg instead of the hex bolt that I had in it. Okay, so here's the knee part, and it's all closed up, and on this side we left a little opening for that screw that's down in there. We'll round that off when we put the epoxy on. That's what's next, after we put some fiberglass resin on it. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're filling the legs, the upper leg, with epoxy. I'm doing this first before I start working with the lower part of the legs, so that way I know what the clearance is going to be, so I can get the right fit. There's the hole for the screw. I'm going to kind of round that off. This is just a thin coat of epoxy I'm putting around the whole leg to cover everything eventually. And that's where we are. Okay, so here's my two legs. They've both been epoxied. You can see epoxy's all the way around it. I have the screw hole there. I'm going to get that, take an X-Acto knife and smoothen it out more where I want it to be. And here's the other leg over here, you can see that. And then now I'm going to put another thin coat of epoxy on it to get it as smooth as possible. And then we're going to work on the lower part of the leg on both of these. Hey, if you like what you saw today, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.